Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff. Bach is not here. He's not feeling super great.
Where'd he go? He lost his voice. So we need we need to help him find it.
It's that transitionary period where it's just starting to get to like fall is happening a little bit, and so like Kat lost her voice, Baka lost his voice. I've got this like stuffy nose thing happening. So you know, it's great all around right now. It's like finally, it's not 1,000,000 degrees. Everybody's health sucks. Enjoy that. Or don't. It's going to take a couple of weeks before your body adjusts to the fact that it's not the Sahara anymore.
I'm going to do some cleaning up this afternoon, so I feel like later on this evening that nose thing is going to happen just because I'm stirring up dust and shit.
You're just like, you're double whammying it is what you're
doing.
I
mean, you know, we did live in a pandemic era, so you could grab one of those millions of masks you got roaming around while you do that so that you don't have to sniff a bunch of dust.
That's true. You could do that.
I wish you just stop using logic, sir.
Or you could just be like, thank you, that is a good idea. I will do that. I have 17.
And then you don't do it anyway. You just placate everybody. I'll do it. I'm just going to sniff dust and feel bad about it.
Seems legit.
Oh, man. I don't have a discussion planned, but I do want to talk about the game that me and Chicken and Red and Snitty and Baka and Kat played last night. Because we tried out that Ghost Hunter game.
Midnight Ghost Hunt.
Yes, I was like, it's midnight something. It was a lot of fun. It's like by the time that this gets posted, it won't be on sale anymore. It's $20 normally. It's early access. It was on sale for $10 this weekend. It's so fun. It's so fun. I won the first round. I was on the ghost side, and the ghosts won, and I won as a bathtub.
Yes.
I mean,
she was a bathtub.
I can't higher recommend anything if the game will not let you be a bathtub in multiplayer. So.
I mean, on the museum map, you get to be the head of a T-Rex skull.
That's true, but it's hard to turn that thing around. To be honest,
no, it's kind of you just hold the R button, and it basically locks it so that you can turn.
I did not know that. I just now learned.
Yeah, you just hold R, and it basically locks your position, and you can rotate your orientation.
Yeah.
That's basically. I set up a trap like that. On one of the other factory maps, I got a forklift and put it all the way in a corner, like around some scaffolding, and the forklift makes it so that you can like lift the front end up, and it does damage. So I left it there around the corner and jumped into a little squeaky dino behind it, and I kept making noise and taunting, and I was waiting for someone to come around the corner so I could jump in the forklift and just kill him with it.
And I think you did.
No. The round lasted so long that I just gave up, got in the forklift, and drove to the other building and killed everybody.
In that one specifically, it's a doll factory. Okay, you didn't get to play, so you need to know all of these things. There's a bunch of like creepy different kinds of dolls, but there's one specifically, like almost everything that you jump into doesn't necessarily have its own like get up and move animation. It's mostly like you have possessed an inanimate object. It is still inanimate even though you're possessing it, so it just kind of slides around or floats around as you're jumping or whatever. There's one specific doll model in the doll factory that looks kind of like Chucky from Child's Play. It actually gets up and runs and then sits back down. Yeah. So like it gets up, runs around, its legs and arms move, and then it'll sit back down in its doll pose. It is so creepy. I was the ghost, and Baka was the one that was inhabiting it, and it scared the shit out of me. It's like, this is my teammate. What? It shouldn't be that scary.
Baka was the one that was the Chucky doll.
He found it. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I won that round as the ghost. I was a mannequin in a chair that smushed Chicken.
Oh yeah, that's right. You killed me. I kited you guys around for like 20 minutes.
You did.
Couldn't catch me.
It was so difficult to catch him. He was so good at like running and jumping, and I was just like charging up my yeet button basically so that you could yeet yourself at somebody. And I was
the
just
mechanics in that are
myself.
so good. Like it has vaulting, like you could climb up on top of things, and that one has like a little thing across the top between the two buildings, and I jump on top of one of the cargo containers and then grab that, and basically it's almost like Call of Duty movement. It's so smooth. And so I was like able to kite and keep moving around and things like that. It was good. It was really good.
I was purchasing it, by the way.
Oh.
Because I didn't want to forget, you know what I mean? Like, I would get done.
It
I gotta
is
clear all this
100%
midnight.
worth it so far. $10, it is definitely worth it.
$20 even. It's probably you're probably still
Yeah.
gonna get your playtime out of it for sure.
Oh.
Especially if you've got a group of friends. I don't know. We didn't do any like dedicated matchmaking to find randoms, so I don't know what it's like trying to fill the lobby, or what the player base is like. I can't speak to that, but as far as having a group of 6 to 8 of your friends that can go in and throw down, you're gonna have a good time. I mean, you're just gonna.
Yes. I have 2 great stories. One was on the pirate ship. At the very beginning, because the ghost people, the hunters have to have a whole load-in thing where they've got like this thing where they it's just kind of they're either in a car or in a boat or something. It's their little load screen that they get when they're coming in to start game. And I was like, oh, cool, a cannon. So I got in the cannon. I was like, oh, what is this? The special taunt for this thing? Because every item has a unique. You can either throw it or do something. The cannon actually shoots, and yes, the cannon actually does damage.
Yeah. You like the pirate ship level.
So I was standing at the very top of the helm, and I was looking to where they spawned at, and I was watching them move around. So I turned, and I was aiming straight up where they would walk into me. And City comes around the corner and comes up the stairs, and I blast him. And he's like, what the fuck was that? And then he starts shooting me, and I jump down, and he jumps with me. And I'm flailing, trying to get free and get away. And Red, unfortunate little Red, comes over to help him, and I'm flailing, and I turn and shoot again, and I knock his ass out immediately. And you just see this cannon scurry up the ladder. It's like, I don't think that's supposed to do that. And I jump off and then just fly through. Like, it is crazy. Oh, so many different abilities that you can use. Cat loves to haunt a room.
Oh, I do too. That's actually that one that you're talking about. While that was happening, I was in the treasure cave part of that map, and I had poltergeist. You can only hold like 5 items at a time, but you have 5 items that it can float around, and they basically, as soon as somebody walks close, they're trapped, so they just start, pelting them with whatever it is. And for some reason, some of our friends don't like to stay together, because while that was happening outside there, Baka comes into the cave, and he's like, there's a bunch of activity in here, because all of the poltergeist stuff gives off activity. And I'm just sitting there watching him, and he walks in, and he gets hit in the face with the chair, and then he gets hit in the face with a box that I had. I jumped into the treasure chest, and he's like, oh, there's shoes. I just, waylaid him with the treasure chest, and he was dead because he'd already gotten hit twice. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you by yourself?
Yeah, don't move alone, man. It's dangerous.
Oh, it was so funny, though. Watching somebody get hit by a floating pirate captain chair is pretty great, though. So.
I was hiding in on the school level. I was hiding in the library with Kat, and she made a bunch of books and whatnot float. And Red walks into the room and instantly gets hit in the face with a lamp. And he's like, "What the fuck, man?" He's like, "Oh, there's a bunch of shit." And then he walks in right behind him and gets pelted with a book. He's just like, "God damn it!" There's shit floating around, and Baka walks in. Of course, and gets hit in the face with a lamp too. It's like, I'm not gonna say anything so that they don't know that I'm in the room with them. But they're just walking and getting hit.
Sometimes it's hard not to start laughing when you're watching things just pelt your friends, though. Or you. Yes. Like, I walked into the library, and I was, the first one in, and I got hit with, a book and then a lamp and another book, and I was like, I'm never reading again, I'm leaving.
It's so hard to keep track of everything, because the game can move so fast and so slow at the same time. 1 second, you're just...
waiting.
You're looking, you're searching, you find somebody, and then they're just they turn into Roadrunner. They start dashing through items and sprinting, and you see chairs flying down the hallway, and they're jumping between items constantly, and you're trying to keep up with them, and then they just disappear, and you're like, fuck.
I don't know
which item? And then you just start trying to shoot different items, hoping that you find them, and then they're just gone.
It's like a similar reaction to when you're playing Prey for the first time, and you're like, I don't know which one the mimic is, so I'm just going to shoot everything here. It's really
prop hunt.
Yeah.
It's prop hunt for 5 minutes and then PvP for 5 minutes.
Yeah. The thing about it, I think the superior part of this prop hunt, though, is you can shoot everything and destroy everything to your heart's content. Whereas, the Gmod prop hunt, you are taking damage, so you have a limited, number of options, which is why that, it balances out in that game mode, is you don't have auxiliary things that you can do.
Right.
So it's just... It was so fun.
My second favorite story is when I got to be a T-Rex skull, and they found Griff, and I was like, all right, here it is, boys. It's my turn. It's my turn to help her. So they're chasing her, and they kill her, or they get her trapped in a small little area, and I come up behind Red as the T-Rex, and the T-Rex actually bites. Like, it's the giant skull. So I was just like spamming right click, so you just see like the little teeth scurrying. Actually, it's like a giant skull nomming as it scurries across the floor. And I start biting him, and he's like, what is hitting me? And he turns around, and this giant T-Rex skull is smashing him. And the other two ran off and leave him there. And I knock him out, and they come back, and I fly away. And then I come back again while they're trying to get him up. And it's like, oh my God. As an ally, you've got, like, as a ghost, you've got to try to help protect your friends. So if you could kind of pull them apart when they're attacking somebody, it's how you do it.
Yeah. Then you vacuum up soul shards as the ghost hunter. So, like, if you've knocked a ghost down, you can vacuum them up and get rid of them until midnight. If the other teammates make it to midnight, any ghosts that you kill will respawn. So
at midnight, the game resets. It's because the ghosts have to survive till midnight, do whatever they can to survive, and then the hunters have to like once midnight comes, you got 5 more minutes, and then
end of the night.
Then the ghosts will attack you.
Yeah.
They become much stronger.
Scary.
So I've built because you do loadouts, all sorts of different abilities and things like that.
The little currency really quickly too. Like most of your loadout purchases are 500, and you're getting like 275 a match just about. So I mean, you can play 2 matches and be able to buy your next upgrade, or you can save them all and buy skins. So I think they really got that part figured out. Like,
oh yes, it's a good balance. How
quickly you need to reward your players.
And it feels good to play.
Yeah. I like it. I want to play some more of it. It seems like one of those games where it's like, watching somebody play, you're like, this could be okay. And then you play it with your friends, and you're like, everybody put this in your library. We'll be playing it for the next 6 months. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. It's a ton of fun. I enjoy it. We played every map except for, they've got, 12 different maps too, and they're all varied. The Carnival one is the brand new one, by the way, Griff.
Oh, was it? It was fun. I liked that one. I was hoping that we would play on it. We ended up on the high school more than anything else, I feel like. But I was hoping to be back on the Carnival one because I didn't get to look at it enough. I let my sister go in that when I was a ghost hunter, and I found her, and she was in a stuffed unicorn, and I was like, you're a unicorn. Be free. Go. But yeah, I just want to look at the maps some because there's so much stuff. Because it is a prop hunt game. So there's so much stuff to look at. It's fun though. Would recommend. Definitely purchase it. Recommend. I'm sure that Oak will get to play with us and then have all of his stories too. I'm serious.
We did play games this weekend too, right? So we had we didn't have enough people to play TTT to start with like we normally would, so we ended up playing Murder. Isn't that what it was?
Yes.
Murder.
Chris found it and was like, put this in, and Chicken Media was like, got it. And we went in. I enjoyed the hell out of that. That was
so fun.
Because the idea behind it is you've got one person that is a murderer, and what we did is we put everybody into shark costumes.
Yeah. And everybody's the same shark, but we're different colors.
Yeah, and so, at first, everybody was different colors.
Yeah, it started making us samey color palettes, but we were all variants of, like, pink or green or whatever.
Right. And so it's great because you go through and it's like, you murder somebody, and we always have a rule, if you get murdered, you have to stop talking type deal or whatever, or at least stop talking about the game. But it was so fun because it was, Chicken figured out that if you picked up an item, and you were the killer, that you could actually swap who you were, and we don't know who anybody is because they don't give real names.
Yeah, they don't show your gamer tag. It shows you like as Whiskey or Tango or Hotel and things like that. So you have false names that change every round, but it's to keep that like, who is this? Who's with me kind of thing.
And it's great though because it created some really fun moments. I think Red had probably the best time out of the bunch on it because he was just going through and just slaughtering everybody. But it was I enjoyed the hell out of that. That was, like I said, that's probably one of my favorite ones. And the games were quick. Like they take that long. unless somebody figured out that he had God mode and could cheat.
I didn't cheat in any of the rounds. I was just playing with it.
Disappeared in front of us. Where'd he go? Into the wall?
I'm Jesus. Woo, Shark Jesus as I float away.
Jesus, that's right. He just Jesused away. It was good though, because it was you'd have those moments where there'd be 3 people standing around and you're the murderer and you're like, I can't separate them because they're like dabbing in the hallway.
Because when you crouch as the shark, it dabs.
Yeah.
Funny.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna try to kill him. But it's cool too because they've got it set up so the concept is there's gonna be one person that always starts with a pistol. The other sharks have no way of killing anybody except for the murderer who has a knife. And then you have to pick up items. When you pick up 5 items, then you are then given a pistol as well.
Yes.
So it behooves you as the murderer to try to eliminate everybody that you can and try to get rid of the person with the gun first.
Or
if
pick
you
up
can.
items as well, so that you're taking them away from.
As well. Yep. Yeah. So
at one point I found I found 2 people and I think it was Griff in the room. I don't know if she had the gun, but after I killed her, I saw the gun on the ground and I was like, and I crouched and I hit it and I knocked it into the corner behind the dead bodies, so the bodies were covering it up, and I was like, perfect. Now these motherfuckers don't know where the gun is.
Jerk.
If you walk over it, you pick it up automatically though.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
But unless
you
you're
didn't see
being
it.
observant, you probably don't notice, because then you'd have to scroll through your weapon wheel to see if you had it.
Right. That might have been one of those times that you were like, how did I end up with the gun? I don't remember having
that happened to me, actually. I think I picked it up in the sewer, so it was in the water or something, and I was like, oh, when did I get this? So.
Which is tedious. The water is like...
Yeah, I don't like the water part of that. I do like that you can break all the windows. We're just like, hey, the game started, smash every window, and then play the game.
None of us knew at all, and I just happened to walk up
found
to
it.
It broke. And I was like, by the way, you can break the windows with the E.
Yeah, because we're all like, how do we get out?
I'm free.
Who's got a gun? Shoot it. Let me out of this thing. No, just press E. You break the windows. Okay.
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun, especially when it started making us like samey color palettes. So you're like, the pink one's chasing me. It's like you realize there's 5 of us and 3 are pink. Which one?
Wait, which pink? The light pink, the dark pink, or the other pink?
Light pink, dark pink, or hot pink. Know. This one's like, I don't know, salmon. Come get me.
So whatever the Foxtrot. Get Foxtrot. What do you mean I'm Foxtrot? I'm over here.
Yeah, and sometimes
somebody's
it did
disguised as somebody.
Well, it's either the disguise thing, but sometimes it did give us overlapping names too. Like there'd be like a purple India and a green India, and you're like, oh, okay, that's helpful. It's all about misdirection, though. Talking about, I don't know.
Murder.
Let's just do it this way. Hey, so there was some technical difficulties and we're just going to jump back in because we don't remember what we were talking about, like, literally 2 minutes ago.
Because, like,
40 seconds ago.
Yay! 40 seconds, 2 minutes, might as well be the same thing in my brain.
40 seconds, 40 minutes, it's really the same thing.
They're pretty
Anything
close.
over 5 is completely...
If you're talking, like, grand scale in lifetime, that...
Anyway, we're going to lose track of topic for the 3rd time.
We're just talking about time.
Yes.
Come on.
Timey-wimey thing.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the murder stuff though. I thought it was fun and it was a good change. And then we ended up going into TTT.
Yeah.
For a little bit on that one too.
Not long enough. We didn't get to play with the sausage.
No, we did not. Sausage. But I did like the addition of like randomly every once in a while it would immediately get the random stuff like
who's doing this.
Yeah, it's like, what is happening? It just automatically starts. And then there was one where Chicken, I think, was the jester, and it gave us 50% gravity or something like that. And if you jumped, if you jumped, you would hit the ceiling and you would die immediately.
No, it was low
twice.
gravity. No, yeah, you can't jump twice, or if you jump twice, you die. You can't double
Mhm.
jump and you
Right.
die. And I didn't realize I was the jester, and I was like, it says you can't double jump. And there were 2 people in front of me, and I double jumped, and I was like, yeah, you can double jump. And I watched somebody double jump and die instantly, and I was like, that's so weird. And I did it again, and the person next to me did it again, and I was like, why am I not dying?
You
I
can't
was
die
like,
to that.
it was so goddamn
That was
good.
so good. Then we had
Oh, just watching them jump and then die instantly was hilarious because they were like so convinced I was right,
Mm-hmm.
which I was. I wasn't dying.
you weren't dying.
Oh,
It was
God
so good
damn.
though.
Yeah.
And then we just end up like killing each other anyway. Like it doesn't matter. I don't trust you right now. I'm just gonna kill you anyway. I'm the detective. I don't care. You're dying.
I'm the detective. Don't hurt me.
You could
I
be
don't
an
trust you.
impersonator.
Nobody's died yet.
Uh,
No, it was fun.
there was one that all of the like a bunch of random barrels dropped in the middle of the room I was in. And like I was in one of those small office.
Oh, who was that? The periodically spawns barrels through the map or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that behind
And
players
so
or
I was
something?
inside a room and there was like 4 barrels sitting inside the room with me. And I'm like, and they don't really move very well. And so I'm trying to navigate and try to get through that without shooting any. I'm like, this is gonna be when somebody kills me right here.
My favorite is Bomberman, the periodic barrel spawns, and the getting close to barrels cause them to explode.
'Cause
So
then
if
you're
you
just
crouch, you
like-
blow up immediately. So you go and like crouch next to somebody and run away. Boop, run.
I like the one where if you get close to anybody, like you bounce away from
Oh
them.
yeah.
Oh
boom.
yeah. I can't remember what that one's called, but yeah, it's like you can't be next to people or something.
And so we'll end up in a small room trying to escape, and we're just bouncing around the room.
Help me! Stop! Get away from me!
Get away!
I just need
Get
my
away!
space. Oh man.
Those sausage though. Sausage.
No. Yeah, that one's the best one. Just makes your gun say sausage every time you shoot it. I like the novelty of some of them, but some of those mods you cannot play with for very long. Like the narrator one that narrates everything you're doing. It's like step, 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 shoot, 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 step, 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 crouch, jump. Like stop it. It was funny for 5 seconds. Please, I can't handle it. And you can hear everybody else's too. It's like, oh my god.
Step, step. I hear
That's
someone
the one-
stepping around me. I
The one that
hear
randomly changes your sensitivity. as
Oh my
you're-
god, that one's hard too. You're like, why am I
love
moving
of
so
God.
slow?
God, that was so awful.
It's bad, but I love it so much because it was just you'll just see people spinning, and they're like, "I'm ready to shoot this person." They just start
Yeah.
spinning around.
Oh man, that game is like a million years old, but it has so much life in it.
Mods, man. Mods.
Well, I mean, it's called Gmod. That's kind of like it's Gary's mod. It's the whole point.
It's like the entire Valve source code.
Yeah.
It's like Valve's like, we make games off of this. Do you? So they just give you the entire source code. It's like you can't steal the source code if we give it to you. It's right here.
And
I mean, to be fair, it keeps everybody on their platform too.
That's true. It's like a great accidental segue into the new stuff. So
I know. I don't know if he
you
was
can't
playing
steal it
into
if we
that
give
or
it to
not.
you, or you could
Oh.
steal it if we're not giving it to you, because that's what's going on a lot these days. Oh man, you want to talk about the GTA one or the Bungie one? Rockstar or Bungie, your choice.
No, let's do the Bungie one.
Okay, cool. So Bungie is suing a cheat maker basically, and they're countersuing Bungie, which sounds like it's one of those things where you're like, what now? What? That seems pretty cut and dry. If you were selling cheats, then but the countersuit is basically alleging that Bungie hacked into their personal machines to get the information on the cheating stuff. So that in itself is illegal for a company to like hack into somebody's personal stuff and steal information. But it was the information.
But is it? Because you have to sign, like you got the little button that you hit to say yes for their terms of service. And if in their terms of service it says it's going to check your stuff for any type of hacking, or anything like that in order to protect their community, and you hit that yes button, then they might be covered.
Maybe.
You know,
It said that they fraudulently accessed his computer, though. So I'm kind of wondering if, like,
Well,
that's
he says fraudulently accessed.
Yeah, his countersuit claims that they
Yes.
fraudulently accessed the computer and things like that. So I kind of wonder how that's going to go down. Like, what can you get away with in your terms of service? And what's in the terms of service? Because none of us read them. We all just click the button so we can play the game. But what's in the terms of service that might protect them from that, if anything? Like, is there a thing that you clicked that's like, if we suspect you of cheating, then we're gonna collect some information from your computer that would be relevant to the cheating? Or
well, but I don't know how, and I'm not sure what Bungie uses for their anti-cheat, but I'm not 100% sure how anti-cheats work to start with, but I would gather that it is very similar to that, to be able to detect. And when you start running that anti-cheat and you say, hey, we use Bob's anti-cheat, and then in the terms it says this is how Bob's anti-cheat works, then you're protecting yourself. So I don't know, but I would venture to say there is something in the terms of service,
because if there's not, then Bungie is in a lot of legal trouble for that, which I guess would put more eyes on the gaming industry and how their software is being used for live service games and things like that. Like, how easy is it for them to access your side of things and stuff like that? So
it's
I don't
one
know. I
of those
guess we'll have
things
to
where
see how that plays out.
If Bungie detected something coming from their side that was not part of their game, and then they went to check it specifically, it's like, did they have cause? And if they did, do they have the right to investigate?
I guess.
But I feel like, and maybe Bungie works different, but I feel like if I am playing Call of Duty and they suspect, Activision suspects of me of cheating, they just shut my shit down until they can figure out if it works or not. Like, if that's what's happening or not. I'm assuming something similar happened on this case, but it could have been they were like, this is a big fish.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So we're gonna
it's
let
a big
them
fish, a company and things like that, where they're like, okay, we see something going on here, we're going to investigate, so we're going to go undercover. Now, does Bungie have the right to do that, or is that a law enforcement only thing?
I don't think it's law enforcement. I don't think hacking itself is yes, not legal, but it is one of those where it is not important when it comes to law necessarily. You understand what I'm saying? Like, until somebody files, they hacked into our system, blah, 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 and this is what they created illegally, then it's not an issue, which is why right now this is in a lawsuit and not the FBI is not investigating this.
Right.
True.
So that's because it's, legality wise, you're dealing with your terms of service problem and hacking into the system that way versus an actual law breaking issue. So it would be very interesting to see how this ends up turning out and what it means for future games that are built similarly. And then also what it means for our TOS. It could be to where every time you sign into a game that you've been in 100 times, there's a new TOS now you have to hit, because they all had to change their TOS, which is how it started. I mean, at one point it was like, don't be a bad person. Agree or disagree. Agree. I'm not going to be a bad person. And then they just keep adding, right?
Yeah.
So, which is now why it's like, hey, you have to, if you screw up, you got to give us a kidney or whatever. I think are you okay over there?
There was a bug flying around, and I was like, I couldn't clap because Griff would shoot me.
I mean,
if I clapped in the mic, you would shoot me.
I wouldn't shoot you. I would just have some very strong words for you.
You'd shoot me with words.
Shoot me with words.
Yeah, well. Also, can terms of services maybe not be so complicated to read so that we can actually see what we're signing?
No, because America is so goddamn sue happy. They have to cross all of their T's, all of your T's, all of the lawyer T's, all of the government T's, everybody's T's. They got to go to your grandparents' house and make sure they cross those T's, because they don't want to risk any lawsuit coming across anybody at any point in time.
We have more lawyers per capita than any other country in the world.
Yes,
I can tell
because
you everything you need
America
to know.
sues for everything. If somebody looks at somebody wrong, they're like, "I'm going to sue you for that."
Yep.
What? I saw you look at me through those sunglasses. That is not protected by free eye looking. So
But I also feel like it's one of those where it's like we've got people that are more apt to do bad things to get sued for. Like,
freedom, man. Freedom brings all the bad people to the yard.
I mean, I hate that that's accurate, but yeah, I guess.
Oh yes, you give people.
we have to deal with that as
freedom.
well. I would agree with like a Cliff Notes version would be great.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, here are your Cliff Notes version that like main points. If you want more details, click the little button and it'll do a drop down menu so you can get all the pinpoint.
Oh man.
So yeah, and then here's the changes that have taken place. This is why you're having to sign
you
this.
signed it.
Yeah. We've now made it to where you have to have your left foot in the air when you play this game.
And you have to record yourself with your foot in the air.
Yeah.
Stop making it so complicated.
That way we know you're not using any type of left foot cheat device. Is that a thing? Left foot cheats?
Yes, left foot cheats.
It is now, probably. I don't know. Oh. Well, the other theft in the news isn't about cheating. It's about actually just leaking the game, which we talked about last week. There was that. We talked about it briefly before there was, like, a ton of stuff about it.
Because it just happened
that day. Just happened. So we were a little, not necessarily out of the loop, but we didn't have all of the information yet. So there was the big GTA 6 leak. And of course people are yelling because look at it, it looks crappy, and it's like you're looking at a pre-alpha. No, it's not. It's gonna look great. It's not even half ready
design,
yet.
The code part of it. Like I've seen people complain about. I've seen people complain about the tech board that's on a lot of the screenshots. It's like that's what developers use, brah. That is their fucking control panel that they are using to do the programming.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The lack of knowledge people have when it comes to how games are made kills me.
Or how much time it takes to make them. Like, no, you're not looking at a finished project. This is pre-alpha stuff. And no, it's not going to be a finished project like in the next 5 minutes. Just because this leak came out, they're not going to be like, yeah, okay, well, anyway, surprise GTA 6 is launching for Christmas. Like, y'all know how this works.
Hell no. You would be lucky to see this thing by next Christmas, which isn't going to happen for the record.
No, I mean, I imagine it's still a ways out. Of course, there's people that are already, like, trying to pinpoint the locations that they've saw in the hack and everything so that people can get hyped about the map. It's like, y'all, don't overhype yourself. That's a problem, too.
I think this is a 2025 release.
I mean, maybe.
I would say Christmas of 2025. You could probably get it around there. With what we've seen, they've kind of got the game moving. They've got to do a lot of like finishing touches on it so that they can push it to alpha and then move it to beta. But I know GTA, that'll be what,
of course,
13 years after the GTA 5.
Something like that. Of course, Rockstar issued a statement and said they were extremely disappointed and it shouldn't have any long-term effect on it, but they were just upset that they couldn't be the ones to, present it, which I get. Like, you want to work hard on a project and show it off yourself because you worked on it. Like, I made this instead of somebody else taking your early rough draft and being like, they made this, look at it, it's bad. And it's like, it's not bad, it's a rough draft, asshole. But of course they, got the law involved because why wouldn't you? That's a pretty big network breach you had there. Network intrusion, sorry, is what they were calling it. And then a 17-year-old has now been arrested in suspicion of having played a part in the hacking. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, and I really kind of wonder what their network security is set up like. Like, is it an issue of you can like call somebody and be like, hey, I'm from your administration program. I need to log into your account. What's your password? I don't have that here. Can you give it to me? And then like some 50-year-old secretary is like, oh yes, my password is this. Have that.
Password 123.
Like, how easy is it? How come there aren't like two-step verifications and all of this stuff? But I mean, I don't know what their security stuff looks like, but I imagine, because Chicken had commented earlier before we started recording, that this dude's probably going to get hired if he did anything impressive. If it was something like that where he just called and basically scammed someone that seemed gullible,
he's going to go to jail. Like, if he did that, he's going to jail. If he
he might go to jail either way, but he'll have a job when he gets out.
Oh, yeah.
If it was something impressive. If it was, you know, password phishing, that's not impressive, and they're not going to give a shit. But, you know, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes down.
Well, and they could think it could have to do with the hacking group lapses, which is also hit Uber as well. And the thing that kills me is, like, there was I think it was 7 kids that were arrested last year. I think it was 7. Yeah, 7 arrested in London. And what one of the kid that was supposed to be like the ringleader was 16, by the way. And his dad was like, I'd never heard of any of this until recently. He's never talked about hacking, but he's very good on computers and spends a lot of time on computers. I just always thought he was playing video games. Like, really?
Which is the equivalent to people our age, our parents going, oh, look, they're on the Mario again, knowing that you're playing a PS1 game Mario or something, again. You know? Yeah, like, they only know the one thing that you do with that machine. And in this case, for computers and teenagers with tech illiterate parents, they're playing the Call of Duty again, you know? So, because that's the big one that everybody knows. But, yes, parents should parent their children. Maybe keep an eye on things.
Well, and it would make sense if this other kid was 16 and the one that is being arrested for this is 17. It sounds like it's a bunch of high school kids that are all friends.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
you know,
especially if they are doing something simple, like, because I think the Uber one was an issue of somebody pretending to be administration and getting a password from somebody else, essentially. I think that's what that happened in that one, but I'm not sure. I may be confusing that one with a different hacking. Because everything falls under the hacking umbrella, but in that one, it's not hacking. It was password phishing.
It's an intrusion.
Yeah. So,
if that, too. I mean, they could have gotten into the network and then got the password.
That's true.
If anybody is ever traveling to England and wants to know why it is that you have to tell your bank ahead of time that you're going to England, these guys are the reason why. Because fraud happens there a lot.
Wow.
Yep. Same thing for Canada. You have to tell them just to cross the border.
Well, I got in trouble for not telling my bank that I was crossing state lines. So, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, I'm literally one state away. I'm actually just like 15 minutes across the border. What even? Whatever.
Well, even then, there should be a trail. Like, stop and grab a snack. Stop and do something, you know, on the way.
Well, I mean, I didn't. The drive wasn't that long, but, you know. Still, it was one of those things where it's like, I guess my bank's just trying to be really secure about it. Are you traveling at all? If you don't notify us, then if you take like a 30-minute drive outside of our usual area for you, we're going to question it and decline whatever you're trying to buy. So, I don't know. It's weird though. I mean, I guess that's more security precautions than some of the companies that have been hacked have. Which is
maybe
true.
I was going to say sad, but it's my bank. So, I mean, like, I guess my bank should be expected to have better security.
Yeah, it's something I can temporarily get mad at, but happy that it happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm glad you're taking care of me. I'm a little frustrated that I can't buy this stuff right now. But it's like, okay. I mean, in my case, it's like, okay, well, I can't use my bank card, but I have my credit card, so I'll just put it on that and pay it with the bank when I get home. No big deal.
Yeah, credit card companies don't care, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, whatever.
Only the bank. You
just go spend your money, whatever.
But I feel like maybe that's because it's a limited amount too. So it's like, and banks in general do have a limited amount of funds where like
the
credit card companies are like massive billion-dollar companies. So it's like, okay, we'll take the loss. Tax break.
Tax break. Gotta love it.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Also, if you're one of the people that were complaining about the state of GTA 6, shut up. Shut up. That's a pre-alpha. That would be like basically going, you know, I understand that you're a 25-year-old person right now who looks relatively reasonable, but when you are a fetus, God, you are hideous. Like, shut up.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is like, let's go with legitimate complaints on this one, right? Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That was a
reason to
legitimate
complain.
complaint,
I
right?
mean, even on PC and the other consoles when it first launched, there were still plenty of reasons for legitimate complaint. But it's because they launched the game in that condition. This is not launched. This isn't even something that they're showing off. Like, they hadn't even announced this yet. I mean,
these are the same people, though, I think, that you'll end up seeing that are going, oh, GTA 6, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's been so long. GTA 6, I can't wait. And it's the same every time there's a new announcement coming out. They're like, they haven't announced GTA 6. That's what's going to be announced this time. Over and over again. And it's like, stop. It's the Silent Hill people, too.
Yeah, as someone who's spent time around the Silent Hill fandom, I understand. I'm tired of hearing about it, to be honest. But yeah, it's one of those things too with GTA. It's like, you know, it's inevitable. They're gonna eventually release another one because eventually people will stop playing GTA 5. So they have to have the next iteration to go to. Of course, people are also upset because one of the main characters is reportedly a female character in this one. It's like, y'all and your women hate. Like, what is wrong with you?
They're mad there's gonna be a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some angry.
Some angry
oh my god.
Yeah.
How dare there be a woman in the GTA 5 leadership spot or GTA 6 leadership spot? Oh my god.
Fuck that shit. Let's do it. Come on. It's been all like male main characters for almost all of the games. Let's get some fucking diversity up in that shit, yo.
Well,
much as you can.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Make them all women. I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, this would be perfect too. Like, give a female the main character spot in GTA.
Yeah.
Do it. Let's go.
It's gonna be cool, probably.
Hell yeah.
So. Also, I know
Make
we
it
didn't.
as soon as you can.
It wasn't in the news, but I saw this article this week and I meant to mention it to you guys. And I talked a little bit about it to Chicken when I saw it. But Kotaku wrote an article about how the CEO of, like, the way that they framed it was the CEO of the company that made Saints Row was upset about the earnings for Saints Row, the new Saints Row reboot. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, what they said, like what the CEO actually said was, it didn't do as well as we had thought it would. This is a chance for us to listen to our community and kind of like go from there and everything. So first of all, stop framing your clickbait bullshit. Secondly, here's the thought: your product didn't do so well. Is it because you released it on the Epic Store and you didn't put it on Steam, which is probably where a large portion of your player base is hanging out? I mean, I'm just saying. But, like, nowhere did I see that part of the argument come up. It's like, everybody's like, well, it's because the game is shitty. It's like, well, first of all, I haven't really seen that many people complaining about it. And I haven't played it yet because I can't buy it because it's on the Epic Store. So maybe part of your earnings problem is that it's on a storefront that a lot of people don't use.
Yep.
Just a thought. You've limited your player base, especially when you skip out on Steam, because Steam is huge. Like, that's a massive amount of money that
it was released on consoles too, though, right?
Yep. It went consoles and Epic Game Store and skipped out on Steam. And it's like, I bet you're going to see a huge bump in your sales when that does eventually come to Steam, which I'm hoping is next year. But it's one of those things where it's like, you just made some of your player base.
And then you get the funny part about that is that Steam ends up getting the polished version of the game.
Yeah, Steam will get the
So we're going to listen to our community before we release it on Steam, is basically what he's saying.
Yeah, because apparently it does have some bugs. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody, like, complaining about game-breaking bugs, but it is kind of buggy. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's by the time that it hits Steam next year, which is what I'm hoping happens, it will be a more polished version. If it doesn't come to Steam, then I guess I'm just not playing it, which makes me really sad. Although if they put it on the Microsoft Store for PC, then I could buy it that way. I'm just not going to buy it from Epic. So
yeah, I guarantee the game will be fine when they release it, because Embracer Group does this with, like, all of their companies do this. They release a mediocre product with some bugs and whatnot. Darksiders, Outriders, everything. Like, all of their games always come out. Biomutant. Well, they are very consistent with this. Like, they come out with on par games, and then they listen to the community, they bug fix it, they adjust it, and then it turns out to be a good game. Long term, it will make its money back, guaranteed. But right out of the gate, everybody is like, this is angry. and then that quiets down, and everybody just starts buying it because it's a good game.
They'll release it on Steam during a sale.
Oh yeah, and that motherfucker will sell like crazy, and they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it sold pretty good."
I posted that in the podcast channel, but like, just the way that it's written, the headline framing it, and then actually seeing the quote from the guy, it's like, I mean, yeah, he definitely doesn't sound like he's loving the fact that it didn't do great, but I mean, it's not like he's going, "Oh my god, how dare this not do great?"
Right.
So, I don't know. It's weird. Just wanted to
I
mention
mean, he
it.
sounds like a CEO just trying to make sure that his product is up to par to where it needs to be when he feels like it didn't. Trying to
Yeah.
adjust for business. That's weird.
Yeah. So,
A lot of these sites, clickbait, man.
I just really want to play this game. Put it on Steam, please. I want to see for myself. I haven't watched any videos or anything about it. I'm trying not to. But I want to play it.
Well, hopefully it'll be. I mean, it takes what, a year normally.
Usually it's a year of timed exclusivity. And then I think that it'll probably come over, but we'll see. Oh, sorry. My nose is getting all sad.
Getting all sad. Well, the good thing is we're getting near the end of the show, so it works
True.
out good.
We also, I guess in the last, like, game-related thing, Chicken and I watched the Cyberpunk Edge Runners. You mentioned Cyberpunk, and it reminded me. We watched the show on Netflix. It was okay. Like, it was a pretty faithful, like, game to anime adaptation. Adaptation. Words are hard for me. It was pretty good, but it was also one of those stories where by the end of the story, you're like, but why did you make this choice? But I think that that's like, I guess they wanted to illustrate that that's how a lot of stuff goes down in Night City. You get so blinded by all of the cool stuff, and that's why Cyberpunk is always a dystopia, because you get blinded by, oh, I'm better, I'm different, I'm cooler. And you're not.
That motherfucker had people around him,
Being like, stop.
all around him going, "Hey, you should probably not do that." And he's like, "What? I'm just doing this for you." "Well, I don't want you to. I promise. All I want is this."
I'm doing this for you.
What?
Okay, but that's not.
I'm gonna hit this gas pedal. I know there's a cliff in front of us, but I'm gonna hit this gas pedal for you.
Yeah.
I know there's a chance I'm going to die 100%, but I'm still gonna do it.
I just want you to be happy. Okay, this
Then get out of the car.
This is making me happy.
Like, oh my god.
I made this other bad decision. Are you happy yet? No. What do you mean?
It's like just talking through the fucking head. It's like,
but it was neat to see it in an anime setting. And then the update for the game came out, and it is now like, it jumped back up the Steam chart. So Cyberpunk is like being one of the most played games right now again, which is pretty crazy. But the update apparently fixed a lot of stuff and polished some things, and then there's DLC on the horizon, so people are jumping back in because of,
there's also mods from that people have created from the Netflix show, and so they're putting those skins on people. Evidently.
I think there's a couple of things that CD Projekt Red put in. Like, I think the jacket the main character wears in the show is in the game now, and I want to say one of the weapons or something like that. But it was neat. We watched it. It was kind of cool. If you want to watch a show that you know in the end is probably going to make you a little depressed, but you want to watch it anyway because it's colorful and fun, do it.
It's a good reason. It's a good reason.
It did make me want to go replay the game. So, I mean...
Does it really take much for you to go replay that game, though?
No.
nope, not these days.
But I don't have time to play anything. Like, next week, all you're going to hear about from us is World of Warcraft, because the new old expansion is about to come out tomorrow,
the
actually.
New old one?
Yeah, the Lich King expansion drops tomorrow for Classic, so that's all we'll be doing next week. Get ready to hear about that.
You got anything else?
I guess since we're wrapping up, I will talk about my YouTube stuff before you advertise my YouTube channel again, which is fine that you're advertising it. But for right now, I'm just not at a point where I can allocate enough time to keep it going. So it's kind of in the state that it is right now, and I don't know when there will be new videos in the future, if there will be. Just because I mean, we've got a 2-year-old now, and all of our time is taken up, and there's just so much else that I have going on that I don't know that I will be returning to it anytime soon. So I just wanted everybody to know that you can go and watch the archive stuff, but like, and I feel bad because like that Dragon Age playthrough is not complete. I should have finished it up and then called it a day, but I just don't have the drive to do it right now, and I'm not going to sit down and try to make that kind of content and force myself to do it, because then I'm not having fun and nobody watching it is going to have fun, because it's pretty obvious with me I have a hard time hiding my emotional state. So it'd be pretty easy to see that I was not having the greatest time, and I don't think it would be enjoyable content to watch. So it is what it is. That's where we're at with that one. And if I ever do get a chance to go back to it and start making stuff again, I will definitely let everybody know. So I'm sorry if you were looking forward to the rest of Dragon Age. If you want to talk to me about Dragon Age, you can always hit me up on Discord, and I will discuss it with you all day. So, but yeah.
Also know that she is, as we talked about before, when Chicken starts back up with his streaming, she will be in part of that as well.
Yeah,
from time to time. So, and then she's always in, the chat.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not on the stream, I'll be at the stream. So.
Yep. So. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
We do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week and Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out at MDB Oaktree. Check out Griff.
At Griff Slime.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
And of course, Baka, you can check out at Baka Pickle. And then also make sure you go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313. Chicken, about a month, maybe.
Whenever I start getting more free time, I'll be looking for it. Wrath of Lich King is right around the corner, so nights are going to be
leveling for a little bit.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Yeah. So
we'll see. Soon-ish. Trademark.
Yeah. Work
Also,
has to go down, so then we'll be able to pick streams back up.
Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDB Oaktree, where I am taking about 2.5 weeks off. I've actually got a brand new desk that I'm installing in here, rearranging some of the stuff for the background on my stream, as well as I'll be going to TwitchCon. So basically, by the time I finish one, the other one will be starting. So taking a couple weeks off, doing that, going to San Diego. But I should be coming back from then. And then please make sure you go to her channel and watch the old stuff and say, sorry, Mr. Man, sorry. Sorry. It's still one of the best lines ever. With her 7-year long run of Red Dead Redemption 2.
It did not take that long, thank you.
It's pretty close. Close. Okay, 5. It's like 5 years. Make sure you go in there and watch that as well. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
And he's back up, but he's not here. Bye.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.